Hey loves, welcome to another episode of the podcast. So I have to caveat this one. It is part of the CV19 special, except I wasn't on a walk. I was in the car, parked up, waiting for the little one. And this message just felt channeled. And I felt called to share it with you because as we're moving and navigating these curious times that we find ourselves in, where the rule book has been torn up, thankfully, and we're adjusting to what that looks like and feels like, there is a calling on us, some of us, to step up into that and use our voices and to do the work required that we know is needed on ourselves, in our brands, and what we're putting out there. So this is what this episode of the podcast really speaks to. And I'm not going to lie, I just listened to it back and I'm like, oh, Nicola, why didn't you close the window of the car? The reason I didn't is because it was freaking hot. So you can hear, and I'm on a busy road, so forgive me. But you guys know me, imperfection for the win. It's too good not to put out there in its authentic, real, raw, beautifully messy form. And if it acts as a permission slip for any of you listening that you don't need to be perfect, then it would have been worth it. Never mind once you get to the actual message and the content of it. So it's just a short one, 5 minutes or so, and it's an invitation. So my loves, enjoy, and come and let me know what you think over on Instagram. All right, I will see you really soon. From despair to determined, who is with me? I know you have been feeling it. My empaths, my sensitive souls, my big-hearted creatives, I know deep in my soul that you have been feeling it. And I also know that this awakening has brought you all of the lessons, and it has felt uncomfortable and it has felt icky, and you've wanted to curl up in a ball and for it to all go away. And I say that no matter where you fall on the spectrum and no matter what your awakening has been like, because when the status quo gets shaken up, even when you know the status quo is BS, when it gets shaken up, it feels like the ground has been shaken up. And then when you're an empath and you're feeling all the feelings, it's tenfold. And then there's that feeling of wanting to get it right, whether because you're feeling like you've got this opportunity to use your voice now and you want to get it right, or you're feeling like you want to get it right because you don't want to get called out and you don't want to hurt feelings. I know it's layers upon layers, but now is an opportunity to take the learnings, continue the learnings and the lessons, and start making a change. To go from dismayed and despaired to freaking determined. I'm feeling this energy in the air, and I don't know if anybody else is feeling it, but I want to let you know that if you feel ready and you want to harness all of this within your brand, that you want to, a lot of the clients that are attracted to me, they've got a thread of activism in what they're doing, and often when they first come to me, they're a little bit cookie cutter, they're a little bit vanilla because they're too scared to own their magic. And when we start connecting the dots, when we start really looking into what it is they're doing, what it is they're about, their why, there is activism in there. I'll say it again, there is activism in there. And I am so here for that. The Wholehearted Way is here for that. It's here for your bigger message. It's here for your bigger cause. It's here because you want to make an impact and make a dent on this world and make a change. So I'm inviting you to go from despair and dismay to determined. The invitation is there to step into it. And you know what? It's stages. The first stage is choosing it. It's choosing that I'm no longer going to stay in dismay and despair, and I'm going to allow the energy of determination to envelope me. And that doesn't mean hustle, hustle, do all the time. Some of the time, a lot of the time, it's thinking, it's marinating, it's learning, it's unlearning. And yes, it's taking a whole lot of freaking action as well. It's exercising your voice, it's amplifying your voice. But this is an invitation for you to, I think it's to own the activism. And I'm not saying that we're self-proclaimed activists with a capital A, that's not it. But there is activism within your work. If you're a black woman listening to this, a black creative, a black brand owner, your activism is in you existing in your whole self and showing up. Right? That is your activism, you being yourself, because we know for way too long you haven't been able to be. So your activism is that, and also we know that that isn't always easy, and that again there's some unlearning and relearning to do. And for my non-black listeners, you also know where your activism is, and it's not too dissimilar from where ours is, because it's you showing up as your whole self, being willing to do the work, being willing to learn, being willing to say the things that maybe you were scared to say before, being willing to stand for the work that you are here to do and the difference that you're here to make. To really deeply think about intersectionality, to consider marginalised communities, to do that self-interrogation work, and then also just step out into your brand and be the brand that you want to be. Can you hear the passion in my voice? I am fired up. This is determination. And I'm not saying that it's going to sound like this high energy all the time, because that's not life, and that's not being human, especially it's not being a mother of two in a lockdown with no childcare. But it's there, and it's available for you too. My loves, this was a short, 5-minute, unprompted, unplanned podcast, but it's a message that I feel that needs to be out there. The Wholehearted waitlist is open. We get started in September. For some of you, it's going to be the right thing in helping you take everything that I've been talking about forward. A beautiful container to do that with. Link is in bio for you to sign up. And I'm just sending you a whole heap of love and compassion, because what this work takes, what this moving us from despair and dismay to determination takes is compassion, self-compassion, and also compassion for each other. All right, my loves, sending you all the love.